my friends, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for being here. Today we're going to work on the second eye from Four Eyes 2. Last time we did this one, and I'm frustrated in that sometimes it doesn't happen all the time, and I think it depends on the time of day that I'm filming. Sometimes the lights in the studio seem to kind of wash out the colors a little bit. So if you ever want to see what the actual color looks like, stick to the end of the video, because when I'm finished, I always take a picture of what I've done outside in natural light, and I can adjust a photo easier than I can adjust video to get it to look exactly like or as close as possible to what the actual finished picture looks like. I never over enhance my pictures. My goal is to always try and make them look as close to what the picture actually looks like as possible. And sometimes that's a little harder on video with the lights and everything. But so if you ever want to see what it actually looks like here on YouTube, you can just forward to the end of the video, and I always show what I've done for that day with more accurate lighting. So anyway, this was the one that we did last time, and we did it on white paper, obviously, and this is the light grayscale version. This is the light grayscale version on my toned, my Nina Desert Storm paper. And I'm already looking at it through the viewfinder, and I can see that it looks much more yellow. And I just don't know what to do to fix that. I can change my lighting a little bit here. Adjust it to, you know, like that's just like a really super cool light. That's a really yellow light, and that's the kind of mix of the two. That seems to just work the best. So again, just if you ever need to really tell what something looks like, just scroll through to the end of the video. All right, let's see. I think I can zoom in a little bit here. We're going to be doing this one. This was number 4 in the vote that you guys did, and it was the second most voted on eye. It is a brown eye, and actually I would probably call it more like a hazel eye, maybe. It's got a lot of yellows in it. So unlike what I did last time where I put the actual reference photo up in the corner, I'm not going to do that this time because the actual reference photo is quite a bit different than how my eye, how I did my eye. I changed colors quite a bit, and just kind of, you know, adjusted it and made it the way I wanted it to. And so you will get in your download, when you purchase this, you will get a finished, a colored version of my page in your download. So you'll be able to see what the eye looks like that I finished, because sometimes, you know, they don't always look exactly like they did the first time. But anyway, all right, that is all I have to say. Please excuse the loud noises of my pencil sharpener. Sometimes even when I am editing the video and I'm listening, all of a sudden it'll start like, it'll scare me because it's my my obnoxiously loud, it seems like, pencil sharpener. Okay, I think today I'm going to actually start in the whites of the eye, and mostly that is because when I'm working on tan paper, there's something about that, the white of the eye being so dark and tan colored, that it throws me. I don't like it that way. So I'm going to start with the white of the eye this time. And I'm going to pull out most of my cool grays. I won't need 90%, but like last time, I have 20. Don't need this one. I have 20, 50, 70, and my white. Is that what I want? I think that will work. think that will work. And let's see, what do I want to start with? Let me just, I'm kind of tempted to start with some white on my tan paper. I think I'm going to start with some white. So as with most eyes, the brightest color of the white of the eye is going to be centered kind of around the pupil, and then it gets darker and darker as you go in, as you go away from the pupil. And you can see with our tan paper, it's never quite, you know, super bright white, so that's fine. I think I'll stop there and let's pull some 20% cool gray. I'm not going to bother going in too far in here because there's going to be a lot of pink in there. I'm already feeling better about it, just getting these grays in here. It already looks more like a real eye. All right, let's move on to 50% cool gray. So yeah, I guess just be aware that when I color these on the YouTube channel, they're never going to be exactly the way they were the first time. So just be aware of that when if you use the colored reference. I mean, I try and get close, but you're never, well, I shouldn't say you, I will never get exactly the same as the original, because, you know, I do different things depending on the day, and I might choose slightly different colors if I don't write down the exact colors that I use, or, you know, so. All right, let's break in the Nectar, or break out the Nectar, I guess is probably a better. This eye was fun to do because there was a lot of different colors in the whole thing. There's just a lot of color to play with. Do some henna. I'm trying really hard to get better at holding the pencil for you between every time that I switch. I know it can be really hard for folks that don't speak English. Closed captioning is, you know, only so, it's only so good. So anyway, I'm trying to get better at that, since I don't put the pencil up on the screen anymore. I feel like I need a pencil extender on this one. I'm starting to run out. Might be time to purchase another set of these extenders. I have these twisty ones, which, you know, they work fine. They're not bad. I guess I like the ease of being able to just pop, you know, just pop the pencil in without having to twist this end. Plus it's heavier than the ones that I normally use. But all my pencils are starting to get short. All right, back to Nectar. And white. And Nectar again. All right, I'm going to put some more of this up here. Might even try some Chestnut. Let's try some Chestnut. I like that. It's not quite as red as Henna. All right, let's see. That looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and do some light peach. That's gonna go under the eyelid, like the lash. That's the underside of the lash line. And I'll go ahead and put some of this in here. And then I'm going to add some Nectar. And then I'm going to do some grade Lavender. I need another extender. Okay. It amazes me. I watch like Monia Mitchell Gates do her colorings, and she sits there with her and she does her coloring with like the shortest, tiniest little pencil, and she has so much control, and I'm just watching in awe. Like how does she do that? I can't do that. I need a long pencil shaft. All right, I like that purple in there, that gray lavender very much. All right, let's work on, let's put these highlights in just to make sure that those get in there nice and bright. That one I got a little bit weird because of the way that my pencil is shaped, so I'm gonna have to make that a little bit thicker. But I think that that's okay. The lead was, I don't know, shaped funny, so when I put it down, it didn't do what I was expecting. All right, I want some, I think I want some more, what is this, 50% coal gray. Because I am going to come in with my white and blend this side. And when I do that, it's going to get lighter, so I want to make sure I have enough dark down. All right, let's put some more white in here. Here. Okay. So I think I'm going to use Nectar. Because if I use, just bear with me for a second, if I use Henna, oh, maybe I'll use Henna. All right, so let's use Henna. And so this is the time when I think taking the extender off. This extender is really heavy anyway. So to get the I know these are not called veins. They can't possibly be called veins. I don't know what they're called. The little squiggly lines that we get in our eyes sometimes. So to get this kind of more natural looking, you've seen me do this before. I'm going to twist my pencil as I'm coming through. And that helps to just get a more natural squiggly line. At least it helps me. It takes away some of the control, because you could do it yourself, but if you do it yourself, it might be a little bit too heavy. Whereas if you hold the pencil back and you just let the twist that you give it make your squiggly lines, then I think a more natural result happens that way. So, okay, and am I happy with how this looks? I think for now I am. We can always add. So let's go ahead and do, let me just put a little bit more Nectar. Actually, I haven't put any Nectar under here. Let's put a little Nectar under here on top of that light peach. Okay, I'm good with that. All right, so for the pupil, I have a few to choose from. I have a few to choose from. So I have Chestnut, I have Terra Cotta, Henna's out. I have burnt Sienna and burnt Ochre. So I'm just going to play a little bit and see what happens. The Terra Cotta I might use last. So let's start with the burnt Sienna. I don't know. Hang on, bear with me for a second. I think I'm going to pull Espresso out too. Okay, so let's start with burnt Sienna 945, PC 945. And let's see what color we get with that. Kind of feeling like I'm having the urge to add some purple in here too. Like, I don't know, something. I guess that's what I mean when I say the pages are never going to be exactly the same, because it all just depends on how I feel at the time. I feel like I want something, you know, maybe I do want to try this Terra Cotta. Let's just try some of this. This is a little bit redder. But I think the eyes look best when there's a whole variety of color in there. The more color I can get into a pupil, the better I like it. Let's take our white and we're going to put this in, and I'm using straight little or almost really tight zigzaggies, but I'm going with the direction that the colors are coming out from the pupil. So little lines or zigzaggy, however works better for you. But this particular eye had these light stripy things that went around the pupil. I'm going to sharpen my pencil, so be prepared for a loud noise. And then let's go ahead and put our big highlight in. All right, now I'm not sure if I used Goldenrod. Let's try Goldenrod and Jasmine. Maybe we'll start with Jasmine. And again, when I do this, I'm gonna make my pencil strokes radiating out from the pupil. This is not rich enough, so we're gonna switch to Goldenrod. Much, much better. let's take some espresso. Just gonna kind of put a darker line, not a solid line, just again, these little short radiating strokes. All right, so don't do this yet. I'm just just testing to see if I want more of the Terra Cotta. I kind of like it. Okay, so yeah, a little bit of that Terra Cotta isn't bad. I'm feeling like, what am I feeling like? I don't know yet. Hang on. Okay, again, don't do this yet. I don't mind that. All right, so this is light peach. I'm just gonna put a few lighter lines in there. All right, I'm almost there. This is the Goldenrod again. Now I'm wondering if I want some mineral orange. I will, you guys know, I like a lot of different colors. So, oh yeah, that's it. That's what I want. So mineral orange. And I'm going to put a little bit of that in here. Never let it be never let it be said that I am a minimalist, because I'm not in my decor and not in my in my coloring pages. All right, I like that. It looks a little different through the camera screen. You don't see as how kind of warm and golden this is. I hope that that's just in my viewfinder, so hopefully when I look back at it and I take a look at it, you guys will see a little bit more of the colors that are true. Okay, let's keep moving on. All right, so I'm going to add a little bit of white, the way we kind of usually do when we're doing a portrait. There's usually a lighter highlight right at the corner of the eye. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to add, again, some texture by just putting little dots, like the raised, like the skin is, I guess it's the pores. It's that little bit of skin texture that some people have, not everyone, but some. And I'm going to do this first. If you're on white paper, you're going to want to do this first, because I seriously don't think that you're going to want to be coloring around each and every little dot. That just is. But if you can get some white dots down beforehand, then when you go to color over the top, they they tend to show better. And in this case, I'm doing it first because I want to see if I can get it to be real, a little more subtle. So we'll color over it and then it will soften it down a little bit. And if it softens it down too much, then I'll just go over the top of it again. So this is like just highlight, just the light hitting the skin. Do a little bit of highlight in here. And I'm debating on whether to add the little hairs now or after. I might do those after. These just the little tiny fine hairs. Maybe we'll do some now and some after. So it's really just like flicking your pencil to get those little teeny tiny hairs on here. I don't even know, that probably won't even show up. All right, we'll just, I'm not gonna worry about that anymore. I do want to do a little bit of texture up here. Okay, hang on for 1 second while I guess I'll use this. My push-in extenders need a little bit extra thickness on these Prismacolors. So usually I have my tape with the the number and stuff on it, but on this white one I didn't do that, so I need to use a different extender. Okay, so a little, just putting in I like having a decent amount of texture on the skin when we do these like super macro eyes and stuff, because when you're doing a small portrait you don't necessarily see the texture as much. We try and get that nice smooth skin going, but on these really big ones there's just something about having that little bit of extra texture that I really like. We can always add more in later if we need to. I think that'll be good for now. Yeah, that's good for now. Okay, so then we're back to our regular old skin colors. Chestnut, peach, light peach, nectar, gray lavender somewhere. I have my little box tops to hold all my pencils so I don't drop them. I tend to like to hold on to them, but lately I've been a klutz and dropping them a lot, so it's better to keep them in the box tops. All right, I'm looking for my peach. I can't find, there it is. Okay, and nectar, and see, look at me, I've got them all in my hand again. All right, so chestnut. Yeah, we'll start with some chestnut. So again, on these, I'm just going to go right over the black. And then if we need to darken the black, then we will. So the eyelash worksheet that you get with this page in the Etsy shop, the eyelash worksheet will be the one we did before. So it'll be this one because I thought it had some nice, so I took all those eyelashes away. So all you have is the eye, and you can practice your eyelashes on that particular eye. And I really liked the technique of starting from the top and working in. So that might be something for you to practice with as well on that sheet. So we're going to want this crease to be nice and dark. And then blend away from it. So these are all the exact same techniques that I would use if I was coloring on white. The only difference is I might use the peach or the light peach first and then do my my darker colors. I do tend to work light to dark on the white paper. Chestnut over here. So I can tell already that I'm going to be really bad. I'm going to be spoiling my grandson because I saw this toy on. Actually, I first saw it on Facebook. And then I went over to Amazon and did a search for it because sometimes, you know, you can find things cheaper. Well, this particular toy is a bunch of plastic shapes that are all magnetized. And so it's like they're like building blocks, but they're magnetized. And he loves magnets. He's totally obsessed with magnets right now. So I found a version. Apparently they're made, I don't know if they're all the same and sold by different companies or if they're, you know, all just versions different companies make. I don't know. But I found a set for half the price that it was on Amazon. And and I bought it for Christmas. I was going to give it to him for Christmas. Yeah, that didn't last very long. Nope, he has it already because Grandma had to give it to him. And I'm afraid if I buy the Christmas presents too early, I'm just going to keep giving them to him because he's with me 2 days a week. And so it's nice to have, you know, new stuff to play with. And so, yeah, I just have a bad feeling that I'm just going to spoil him. But I have been, when I do my searches for these toys, I've discovered that if you search for Montessori toys, you get a whole different kind of toy for kids. And it's much more like the kind of toys that I would like him to play with right now. He's only a year and a half. And even what they're made out of, like the toys that I'm finding, they're all made out of wood, these Montessori toys. As opposed to the crappy plastic ones that it seems like are so prevalent for kids nowadays. These are all wood and really nice. I'm really kind of excited about buying toys, and he's getting to be that age where he's fun, and he's a great kid. He's a very happy child. Smiles and laughs a lot, and I'm not saying that he doesn't have his moments. I'm sure his parents will attest to that, because we are coming into the terrible twos where they like to test you. But even though I'm going to spoil him rotten, I'm also not going to be a pushover and let him get away with being naughty. So anyway, I'm enjoying having him very much. And I'm looking forward to when he gets older and can start playing with crayons and coloring, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, I got to admit. Hopefully he'll like that kind of stuff. You know, kids have different, you know, some kids are artsy and some kids are athletic, and you never know what you're going to get. So I swear I could sit here and just lightly color and build this color up. I could do it all day long. And I do it all day long. All right, let's try some other colors. Let's go for the peach. So, peach. that's interesting. I don't know why, but I feel like that got really dirty looking right there. I'm gonna put some burnt ochre in here. I have no idea why it did that. All right, I'm gonna keep going. It just like kind of threw me there. I'm like, what? Why does it look like that? I don't know. I'm gonna need some more chestnut. And my pencil edge feels weird too, so it's better. All right, a little bit down here, and then we'll switch to light peach. Actually, I want to go over this a little bit. I think we're going to need a little bit more chestnut there. I'm going to put that in right now. Chestnut. All right, we'll try that. We'll go back over it again if we have to. So back to, nope, back to peach. switch to light peach. Starting to come together. You definitely get a different I'm not sure what I'm trying to say. The colors, like when I color the same picture from white paper, the same picture on white paper and dark paper, your colors are definitely brighter on the white paper. I was comparing the first eye, well, actually it would be the second eye, the one that we just did, comparing that white one to the original version that I have, that I did on the tan. And it even though it looks the same, it doesn't look the same. It's brighter when you use white paper. But there's something about the tan for me that, not just the ability to use the white as a color, but also it gives it a more, I mean, I hate to use the word vintagey, but it like tones everything down and gives it this cool look that I really like. And that makes sense considering that my past profession was in the vintage furniture and accessories and all of that business. I was thinking about that and why I prefer the color, the finished picture on the tan. And I've always kind of liked colors that were slightly desaturated and I don't want to say dark because I don't necessarily like dark, but it's just something about it that I really like. kind of want to try gray. There's a gray paper in this brand, and I'm really curious to try it. All right, so I'm going to try some mineral orange here. I want to get this, a little bit brighter. You know what, let's do some Nectar. And then maybe some gray lavender. All of these pinks and oranges look really nice together. All right, I'm going to try some gray lavender on here. I got some colors on the original that I'm not achieving right now with my second version. And I have no idea what I did because of course I didn't write it down. So let's, don't do this yet, because I might not like it. I'm going to try some Terra Cotta. All right, let's try some Terra Cotta. I'm just glazing a little bit of this on here. All right, I'm gonna put some burnt ochre over here. This is looking a little bit too, I don't know, something's not the way I want it. You know, part of it could be that I need some better light. I'm just going to move my light over a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't bother you. All right, I think we need some eggshell. Maybe that's part of the problem. Again, if you're doing skin and you look at it and everything just looks too pink, just add some eggshell or some beige or some burnt ochre, depending on how light or dark you want it to be. I'm not going to put this eggshell over here because I don't want to lighten that up too much. I feel like there's not a lot of pencil down here. I know that looks looks really, really yellow in the viewfinder. There's not a lot. I can feel the difference that I haven't put a lot of color down in here yet. Thinking about bringing out the peach again. So peach down in here. That light peach sometimes on this tan paper goes really pink. Which is fine on some skin tones. You want that, but on others, you don't. I just realized I haven't used a blender on this yet. Let's try some espresso. Very lightly. I don't want to go crazy. I just want to darken. All right, I'm going to come up in here. We need to work on this a little bit more. Let's try burnt ochre. I will again remind you guys that if you're following along with me and you're using white paper and you start to put a color down that I'm putting down, and I would always recommend, when you put a new color down, you start out very lightly and you get a feel for it. Don't just blindly come in and do exactly what I'm doing, because that doesn't always work. So when we switch to a new color, if it's a color that you're not completely confident in and know that this is, what you want to put down here, start out slowly in an area, start out lightly in the area. And if you don't like what you're seeing, if you look at that color and you say to yourself, that doesn't look right, then don't use it. Yeah, especially when we're doing, if you're doing if you're doing it on, white, or a color that I'm not using. I don't want you guys to be unhappy with your results because you're following me to the letter. I would love for you to be able to look at what you're doing and say, I don't like that. I'm not going to do that. Do something else. My goal is for you to be able to use the techniques that you learn and, you know, get brave and start trying some different stuff. Because honestly, that's why I say, like, let's try this, don't do this yet. Because I don't always know that it's going to work. I don't always know that I'm going to like it. And sometimes I change my mind because it's not always right. So use your, this is Peach, use your best judgment when you're putting down your color. Start gradually and make a decision as far as whether or not you want to continue with that color or not. All right, it's really starting to come together the way that I want it. I'm starting to feel much happier about it now. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to break out the grade lavender now again. And we're going to put some in here. I'm using a little bit more of it than I used on the original. That's okay. Maybe not. All right, I want to, what do I want to do? I want to find my white. There. I'm going to put some more hairs down here, and then we're going to work on this pupil a little bit more. I'm also thinking I want a little bit more. All right, you're going to think I'm nuts. Do I want to do this? I have it in my hand. Let's try. Don't do this yet. I want to see what this looks like. It's a little bit, you know, more yellow than the eggshell. All right. If you feel like you would like to do this, you can go ahead. I just wanted a little bit more yellow tone in here. Okay, I like that. All right, so for the outside of this pupil, I pulled out Indigo Blue. And I'm thinking about trying some of that, maybe with some espresso. So this is Indigo Blue. Don't do this yet until I see how it looks, because it just might be too blue. Because I definitely want this eye to be, you know, a hazel eye. But I'm kind of liking this. It's just kind of tinting So go ahead if you feel like you want to try it. I'm just putting down a little bit, and then I'm going to go over it with some other colors. So it's not going to be super bright blue. I just want a little bit of it. All right, and now we're going to do the espresso. Over the top. It's going to tone that down. Because we definitely don't want blue in the our brown eye, but there's just something about it. And I wish I could tell you what it was. I don't know, but I like it. All right, let's work on darkening this pupil up here under the lash line a little bit. Somewhere I have a blender and a black pencil. You know what? Let's try the stump. I'm going to try the stump for blending. Or maybe right along the edge. So we can make sure that that is nice and soft. All right, I'm going to come in with some henna. And chestnut. And we'll use about light peach to blend. Oh, that was a little bit too light right there. That really lightened up. So I'm going to put Nectar back in. Okay. Henna back in. All right. We're almost there. Something about let's do some highlighty dots here. And all right, let's, I don't know what to do. No, I think I want a little bit more a little more burnt ochre, but I'm debating on whether to go with the burnt sienna. So don't do this yet. All right, I like that. This is the burnt sienna, so PC 945. I don't remember numbers. My brain doesn't think that way, so I have to call it by the color name. God, I can't think of a school subject that I hated more than I hated math. Like my brain just does not like math. But I did really well in school in science, like earth sciences and stuff like that. I did well in earth sciences and in all the English classes and the art classes, of course, but those started to diminish as you get older and up higher in your schooling, which is a shame. All right, I'll blend that with the stump. The stump works really nicely for blending. I really, really like it. Just softens all this right out. And doesn't add any more wax. I think I'm pretty happy with this now. So the eyelashes did not get too light. I think they stayed pretty dark, so there's not, in this case, a whole lot to do, but what I am going to do is darken the edges. Turning my pencil a little bit as I do this, keeps that edge sharp. Alrighty, I am pretty happy with the way that turned out. Yeah, it's not, it's not completely exactly like the original, which I'll show you now. In fact, it's quite different when I put them side by side. I have a lot more oranges in this one than I do in this one. So it kind of makes me wonder if I should just keep going. It's like once you put it like right next door, when they're far apart, they look just the same. But when I put them side by side, yeah, I don't know. I like the way this came out though, so I'm not sure. Look at that again. I'm not sure what to do about that. I know, here, let me zoom. Oh, color just changed on us, but so this one has a lot more browns in it than this one does when I'm looking at it. It's like, now I don't know what to do. I don't want to mess with you. I mean, I don't want you guys to get, I want you to, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I like it exactly as it is when I only look at it by itself. And when I compare it to the one that I did originally, I feel like it doesn't have enough color in it. Isn't that funny? I find that funny. I don't know about you guys. No, see, I like this one too. I like this one the way it is as well. So I wish I could tell you what the difference was of my original. I guess the biggest difference would be that there was no grayscale on the original, and this one had, you know, had the grayscale darkness to it. That's got to be the only difference. You know, the first one was done straight on the paper, and this one was done on top of the grayscale. So, but again, I'm really happy with this one as it is. So I guess I should just shut up and not worry about it. Where'd my stump go? Paper stump, where are you? How does that happen? How is it that you have something in your hand and then it's just gone? Like, good grief, it's right in front of my face. All right, I'm just gonna blend this out a little bit more. If you want to follow, you know, if you want to use the original, because that's what's going to be in your download, is that original page with all 4 of them colored. If you want to use that as your guide and make adjustments to this one, by all means, do that. Do what makes you happy. But right now, this one makes me happy just as it is, so I'm going to leave it. And I'm going to call it almost done. I just didn't add the black. Not that it wasn't already pretty black, but... All right, guys, I am going to call this one finished. So you will hopefully carry on by yourself and do these other 2, and by all means use the colored version that you can download when you purchase the page as your reference if you would like to, or go online and look for another color scheme and use that. Do what makes you happy. All right, that is, oh no, I'm not finished. There's one more thing I wanted to show you that of what I did on the original. So in the on the reference photo, the light on the eye was really catching. In fact, the eye on the reference photo was a much more highly lit eye. But I did like the way it looked when the light kind of caught some of the eyelashes. And so I'm seeing here that I feel like I want a few of these to be a little bit darker. they lightened up when I put color down. So we're just going to go over them a little bit. Okay, so then I just took my Posca pen, she said, there we go, and just put a couple of little highlights, grabbing the lash so that they look like they're catching some light. Just like that. And then if you ever feel like you've put your Posca pen down and it was too thick, you put it down and you go, oh my God, that's just so clumpy and I don't like it. Which, trust me, has happened to me many, many times. Again, in comes the slice tool. So this is the one with the orange cap. There's several different ones that you can get. There's the kind that you push on the, you push on the back. Lots of different ones. This is the one I use. It's the one I like. If you like a different one, that's fine. But what's wonderful about the slice tool as opposed to a regular knife is that it doesn't cut you. I'm so bad with knives cutting me. It doesn't, unless you really scrape down on your, then it might. But what it's wonderful for is the precision of removing stuff that you don't want there. So if I were to, let's say this one right here is too gloppy. I'm gonna zoom in here. Okay, so let's say I don't like that one, that I think that one is too thick. All I'm going to do is come in with my pen and just scrape it until I get it the thickness that I want, or scrape it off completely, however you want. But if you have layers of colored pencil down, you can take that, you could take this knife and just really adjust your lines that you put down with Posca and remove any bit of that you don't like. So that is a good thing. I sound like Martha Stewart. It's a good thing. No. All right, so there we go. I'm going to go photograph this outdoors in natural light so that you can see it for how it really and truly looks. And I'll put that up right after I say goodbye. And then I will see you next week for the next full color along. So until I see you then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Happy coloring. Bye-bye.